Good evening and good night, and welcome back to Law, News and Laughter. How are we doing, people? In the news today, we are breaking down the Mr. Beast lawsuit. He's being sued over Deez Nutz. In addition to that, we have the Australian ABC asking why American politicians are so old. We have a federal court judge. We have the author, Corey Richens, who killed her husband, then wrote a book to help her children deal with the grief of losing their father, appearing in court. And it is very good to see everybody filtering in. Now, I have no idea how many people are actually going to show up to this, because I put out notifications last night on YouTube and Twitter, and somehow they got the least amount of views that I've ever had on either platform. I'm wondering if that might have something to do with the fact that I tagged Mr. Beast. And maybe there's some sort of approval process or whatever. What I would like to start with, though, is a big thank you. For those of you that don't watch through to the end, I do like to remind everybody that they are not a piece of shit. They do have value and they do contribute to society. I had someone reach out and let me know that that actually had an impact on them and that it made a difference to their life. Wow, that sounded really cheesy and really rehearsed. I'm basically sitting here trying to work out how not to dox this person, because it made me feel really good to know that my reassurance and reinforcement that individuals do have value helped someone make a change to their life that has improved things for them. I'm extraordinarily happy to hear that, and for God's sakes, people, particularly when I'm going through shit, because I have been the last couple of weeks, and I do apologize for not being here. Been dealing with stuff at work, been dealing with some really tough family stuff, and sort of just getting back on my feet. Jet lag sucks. But basically, it's really helpful to know that the message is actually getting out there and that people do actually give a shit when I tell them that they are not a piece of shit. So, but anyway, we have Jason J with an 8-month membership. Good to see you back streaming, Hayden. Yep, it's good to be back. Just Cause is lurking at the gym. No worries. I shall make sure not to interrupt your rhythm. I was about to try and go into like a... Anyway, never mind. Bad joke. Bad joke. Bad Hayden. Bad Hayden. Yeah, SD Trekkie Girl, it was pretty amazing. So... Just Dawn had a great bacon, ham, and cheese sandwich for dinner, and my son loved it. Oh, fabulous. Oh, okay. Cheers, birds. Alrighty, how about we get stuck into some shit? Because we've got a bit to cover today. And it's Father's Day, so I would... Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good point. I informed potentially criminal Sean the other day that this weekend is Australian Father's Day. Weird how the holidays don't sort of reverberate around the world. I get that it's Labor Day for you guys in the US. Our Labor Day was ages ago. So, but anyway, let's get stuck into it, shall we? Okay, bring this across here because I now have added to my setup. So, okay. All right. Mr. Beast is being sued for launching Deez Nutz chocolate bar by Deez Nutz. YouTuber Mr. Beast's food company Feastables is being sued in a Florida court, of course it's Florida, for allegedly infringing on a Jacksonville, Florida-based company Deez Nutz LLC's trademark for Deez Nutz. How many times can I fit Deez Nutz into this show? Mr. Beast's Feastable brand sells chocolate and peanut butter flavored candy bars called Deez Nutz. According to the lawsuit, Deez Nutz, as the plaintiff identifies himself in the suit, was founded by Brian DeTore. Hopefully I've spelled that right. pronounce that right, I should say, who registered the trademark Deez Nutz on September 25, 2012. Plaintiff has consistently used Deez Nutz mark in commerce for the sale of gourmet-flavoured peanuts for over a decade, the lawsuit alleges. Gun Club coming in with a super chat. Happy Father's Day. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. And yes, I intend to have a very good Father's Day. I'm going back to Costco. I've been having American withdrawals. I'm going to get some American pizza. Okay. In that time, according to the complaint, the company became a market leader in selling processed nuts, raking in millions of dollars annually. Who loves Deez Nuts? We love Deez Nuts. Now, this is interesting because obviously, when you're talking trademarks, it's got to be in the same area. Actually, I probably should have reached out to Kurt for this one. Got to be in the same sort of sphere of influence. I can't necessarily see anyone confusing Deez Nuts with Deez Nuts. But I can see why they have a legitimate argument over trademark here. Are you going to confuse Deez Nuts with Deez Nuts? Yes, I'm gonna keep doing it. I have no idea what it is with Americans and peanut butter. Although peanut butter and, as you guys would call it, jelly, oh, not bad. Okay. I'd never heard of Deez Nuts. That's not really surprising. There's probably any number of million-dollar companies out of the US that I've never heard of. That's not really the test here. It's whether or not people in the US would reasonably conflate the two. So, who owns Deez Nuts? Deez Nuts or Deez Nuts? Deez Nuts with a Z is Feastables. Deez Nuts with an S is owned by Deez Nuts LLC. Dietrich chose the name, the lawsuit explains, in honor of his grandmother, Adeline de Moore, who was known as Mrs. D. Her laughter and belief that life should not be taken too seriously inspired him to select a trademark that paid homage to her and her comedic flair, the lawsuit says. Hence, Deez Nuts was created. I would be interested to see exactly how far back the meme goes, though. When was the first time that Deez Nuts was used for comedic effect outside of whatever else? Yeah, Mrs. Deez Nuts. Just call them Mr. Beast bars, don't even know what the flavors are. Well, there you go. The story's just plain nuts. The US Patent and Trademark Office has a record for Deez Nuts filed by Brian on June 15, 2011. The lawsuit, filed on August 25 and highlighted by Court Watch, claims that Deez Nuts has established a brand identity thanks to marketing efforts undertaken by the company. In 2016, the lawsuit claims the Deez Nuts logo was attached to an RV as part of a grassroots marketing campaign. The RV went on tour across the United States, including stops at the National Peanut Festival, the NASCAR Championship Race, and the Cowboy Christmas Show in Las Vegas, amongst many other venues. Here's the thing, though. This is in no way law, this is my own personal opinion. If you work at something for 10 years in terms of notoriety, in terms of fame, in terms of brand awareness, and people still have no idea who the fuck you are, I think maybe you've wasted the trademark, and I think that should be open to dispute. But that's my own personal opinion on that. In 2017, the lawsuit alleges the trademark was updated. The same year, according to the lawsuit, Deez Nuts began selling at retail locations like Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm sorry, what? And ABC Fine Wine and Spirit. In 2022, the lawsuit says a deal was arranged with Walmart to sell the product at Walmart. All told, the lawsuit alleges that Deez Nuts spent a total of $600,000 on direct marketing to build up the brand, and that expected sales for 2023 are between $4 million and $5 million. Mr. Beast launched the Deez Nuts bar publicly in February in a viral video on X. Whoa, we have a 12-month super chat. Oh, hang on. We have a 12-month super chat. Thanks for the past year. Sorry, membership, I should say. You've made carpool and sports travel survival. Cheesehead lost on Bourbon Street. Congratulations. You have officially become eligible for one of my Aussie Overlaw'd. I've been a member for 12 months and all I got with this lousy shirts. Hit me up on Twitter. I haven't actually set it up through the Teespring store yet, but you shall be rewarded. Thank you very much for being a member for 12 months. Now, is this a case of the phrase Deez Nutz becoming too generic, though? Is it something that... Is it like trying to trademark the word nuts? We'll see the argument. Mr. Beast launch. Yep, got it. Want to run this as a Super Bowl ad, but $7 million was a lot of money, you guys, so you get it here. I'm not going to play the video. Deez Nutz sent Feastables a cease and desist letter after the video launched and received a response from the company in April saying that it would keep using the mark. According to the lawsuit, since Feastables launched its product, Deez Nutz has been contacted online by fans accusing them of infringing on Mr. Beast's copyright. That's a bit funny. A user named Noah left a Google review for Deez Nutz in December 2020 before the Feastables product launched. Noah gave the company 5 stars and commented, "Nut!" Because the Noah user had a Mr. Beast logo as his profile picture, the lawsuit alleges that he is a business associated Mr. Beast. Yeah, that's probably a bit of a stretch. Whose real name is James Stephen Donaldson. I would want to see significantly more linking him to that than just that. Are you kidding me? Deez Nutz also says that Walmart started carrying their products in June 2023, but that a search for Deez Nutz in Walmart's online search tool only returns hits for Feastables Deez Nutz bars. It alleges that the infringement caused its brand irreparable injury by creating sustained customer confusion between the two. Yeah, that's looking a little bit more likely, honestly, based on that. Mind you, if that was a marketing ploy, someone at Mr. Beast's area is going to get there. He's going to cop it up the arse, frankly. Jimmy, aka Mr. Beast, is locked into legal battle with Virtual Concept Dining for now, for how Beast Burgers has been destroyed. Yes, Jason, at some point I will talk about that as well. I was going to actually cover that in depth, but given that that has actually been withdrawn due to jurisdictional issues, until that's refiled, I want to wait. Man Juice and Deez Nutz in one night. That's a fun Saturday. Is Deez Nutz a candle and wax melt place? If so, I have some. Okay. Deez Nutz is asking for damages from Feastables after a full accounting is done of the company's profit earned from the alleged infringement as well as legal fees. Yeah, so that's a pretty short article because we are going to look at the actual lawsuit itself, complete with pictures for those of you that have a short attention span. This one, on face value, looks fairly straightforward. There was an existing trademark. It's being infringed upon. Does the Z... Is it enough? Given that it's actually causing market confusion in a competing area, he's probably going to have to fight this one, actually. But let's have a look at the actual court document, because it just keeps getting funnier. All right. Where are we? In the United States District Court, Middle District of Florida, Jacksonville, Deez Nutz LLC versus Feastables. Comes now plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC, who files this complaint against the defendant Feastables Inc. for willful and deliberate use of Deez Nutz. Deez Nutz's federal trademark in violation of Title 15, U.S. Code 1, Section 1114, and Title 15, Section 1125 of the Lanham Act. Excuse me. Plaintiff's Florida common law trademark rights, Florida common law unfair competition. Oh, far out, the V is really giving me a rough time here. As well as Florida's deceptive and unfair trading practices, and alleges Deez Nutz LLC is a limited liability company formed under the laws of Florida and its principal place of business. And we just dox the hell out of them, but I don't think they really care. Display damn nuts in court. I wonder if this is going to be like the ice cream case here and the judge asks for samples. Feastables is a corporation under the laws of Delaware. Complaint for trademark infringement under the Lanham Act. Unfair competition, blah, blah, blah. We already got through that. Jurisdiction, we don't care about that. If they manage to argue over jurisdiction, that's something else. Okay, facts common to all counts. Plaintiff is the owner of an uncontestable US trademark registration for the standard character word mark Deez Nutz. The Deez Nutz mark, which was registered on September 25, 2012 under the registration number of 4215028. Plaintiff, as the owner of the registered Deez Nutz mark, has a presumptive exclusive right to use the mark. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Plaintiff has consistently used the Deez Nutz mark in commerce for the sale of gourmet-flavoured peanuts for over a decade. During that period, the plaintiff has grown and established itself as a market leader in selling processed nuts and sells millions of dollars worth of processed nuts annually. Plaintiff also used Deez Nutz in connection with apparel for several years. She should be happy that Mr. Beast spent $600K on marketing for her business. Oh, jeez. Deez Nutz mark was first selected and used by Brian A. Dottore, predecessor in interest to and current principal of Plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC. He selected the Deez Nutz mark based on his grandmother, who many knew as Mrs. D. Her laughter and belief that life should not be taken too seriously inspired him to select a trademark that paid homage to her and her comedic flair. Hence, Deez Nutz was created. Hang on. Dictionary.com and know your meme. Now I'm curious. Deez Nutz is an expression used to deliberately interrupt or divert a conversation. It is not a literal reference to testicles. Rather, it is used figuratively to disrupt and show disrespect to whatever conversation is currently occurring. Where does Deez Nutz come from? The first known usage of Deez Nutz comes from The Chronic, a 1992 album by Dr. Dre. Song begins with a phone call between a man and a woman. After a short back and forth between the two, the man suddenly shouts, "Deez Nutz." Within a year, Deez Nutz had already gained popularity amongst hip-hop and R&B artists. In 1993, the expression Deez Nutz appeared in the titles of songs by rapper ALT and R&B group Escape. Later usage of the phrase Deez Nutz directly evolved from the intentional disruptive way it was used in Dr. Dre's 1992 song. Though the original Dr. Dre song was intimately referenced for many years, usage of the phrase spiked in 2015 when Instagram user Welvin the Great posted a video of him telling a similar Deez Nutz joke to a friend on the phone. The video turned the profile into a viral internet sensation. However, Deez Nutz truly broke into mainstream later that year when Deez Nutz became a US presidential candidate, scoring an astonishing third place in public polls. Are they taking the piss or is this legitimate? Came in right after Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This has got to be taking the piss. Deez Nutz was actually a 15-year-old from Iowa named Brady Olson, who registered the pseudonym as a way of expressing his frustration with the two major political parties. Inserting a Deez Nutz prank into something as serious as a presidential election brought the meme to the attention of the general public. Examples of Deez Nutz. Something came in the mail today. Deez Nutz. Haha, got him. Search it on YouTube. Oh, so there actually is a... Okay. Well, thank you for... Deez is colloquially used in connection with the word nuts, and where Deez is a plurality and separate from Deez, which is a name, it cannot therefore infringe on Deez Nutz IP. That's actually a really good point. Okay, so the point is, it's A, the comedic effect predates the trademark, and B, there has been a separate individual thing that has come about since the trademark was registered. Okay. Brian began offering Deez Nutz processed peanuts with his family and with substantial investments of time, money, and resources. He has grown a national reputation and following within the processed nut industry. So what Brian's saying is he's been playing with his nuts for a long time. On June 15, 2011, he submitted an intent to use application for trademark registration with the United States Patent and Trademark Office of the trademark Deez Nutz for use with processed nuts. The application to register the trademark was assigned to serial number 85346479. On July 26, 2012, he filed a statement of use with the USPTO, stating the trademark Deez Nutz had been used in commerce in connection with the processing of nuts on May 3, 2012, including the below specimen. Okay. Dude, Grandma's going to be so proud. On September 25, 2012, the application for Deez Nutz was issued a registration on the principal register, protecting the trademark Deez Nutz used in connection with processed nuts. A true and correct copy of the trademark document, retrieval status, and documents pertaining to the registration is attached in Incorporated Exhibit A. On October 26, 2017, Section 8 Renewal and Section 15 Declaration of Incontestability for the trademark were filed with the office, both of which were subsequently accepted and acknowledged by the USPTO. On November 21, a true and correct copy of the notice is attached. On October 12, he filed electronic articles of organization with the Florida division of the corporation to form the plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC. Ownership of Deez Nutz mark was thereafter transferred from him to the company. On May 26, 2022, a combined section declaration of use, blah, blah, blah. Basically, paperwork was filed. All right, building goodwill. After registration, a lengthy and dedicated grassroots campaign of brand exposure began with the Deez Nutz mark, and products being placed in front of consumers at large gatherings. In 2016, the Deez Nutz mark was emblazoned on an RV and trailer as part of a grassroots marketing effort. Okay. Starting that year, the RV, trailer, and Deez Nutz products were regularly on tour and Deez Nutz were exposed to consumers. Already on the trademark for the fancier label, these testicles. Deez Nutz were exposed to consumers at the National Peanut Festival, the NASCAR Championship race in Homestead, Florida, Daytona Beach Turkey Run at Daytona International Speedway, the Cowboy Christmas Show in Las Vegas, American Kennel Club, National Candy Gift and Gourmet Show in Philadelphia, America Mart in Atlanta, Dallas World Trade Center, Louisville Gift Show. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of places where they were supposedly on view. Damn, I'm glad I'm not reading. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay. Think you proved your point. After 8, the preceding tour marketing efforts continue through to today. In 2017, Deez Nutz began being carried in and that retail locations in Florida, Georgia, and Virginia, and Bed Bath & Beyond retail locations in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Arizona. By 2019, Deez Nutz products were being carried in over 100 ABC fine wine and spirit retail locations in Florida. In 2022, after an extensive process which included submitting materials to Walmart, which included the plaintiff's future plans of offering a gourmet-flavored peanut bar in connection with the Deez Nutz mark, Walmart began carrying Deez Nutz products in over 300... Why is my brain not working? Come on, V, do your job. In 3,900 retail locations across the country. Then in June 2023, Walgreens began carrying Deez Nutz products in Florida and Georgia. Plaintiff's Deez Nutz products are presently available nationwide. Whoa! $5 super chat, thank you. Apparently sharing Deez Nutz with countless individuals around the country, and they were well received. Apparently. I'd make a joke about checking for STIs, but I don't want to get done for defamation. presently nationwide, located in various states across America. The plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC currently manufactures and sells Cool Ranch Hot Sriracha, Dill Pickle, Extra Spicy Ghost Pepper, Hot Cheddar, and Nana Pudding Gourmet Peanuts under the Deez Nutz mark. After years dedicated to building goodwill under the Deez Nutz mark, the Deez Nutz products today are distributed and sold across the United States in 3,900 Walmart stores, and that Bed Bath & Beyond, Walgreens, ABC Fine Wine, 7-Eleven, and hundreds of independent retailers. I'm pretty sure you made that point too. Who wrote this? Because you're being very repetitive and redundant. Plaintiff actively and continually enforced its trademark rights to the Deez Nutz mark against infringing entities. Plaintiff has expended significant resources on research, development, and marketing products under the Deez Nutz mark. In total, it has spent about $100,000 on product development, has expended significant resources in marketing. Okay, infringement on Deez Nutz by Feastables. In December 22, a Google review of Deez Nutz was left by a user named Noah, who rated Deez Nutz 5 stars and left a single comment. Nuts! A true and accurate depiction of the Google review is attached and incorporated Exhibit B. That's going to be funny. Nana Pudding Nuts? Stop it. Yeah, that's pretty much all that boils down to, Tempest. Sounds to me like Deez Nutz company is really suing for verbal similarities between the two companies. However, the written form clearly denotes a difference and will likely work against them. This is correct. Tempest knows their shit. Here the sack stretches really far when they get too old. Seems very regional to Florida in the south. Never heard of it. Upon information belief, the Noah username and account belongs to a business associate of James Stephen Donaldson, who is popularly known as Mr. Beast, due to the use of the Mr. Beast logo in the account's profile picture. That's a fucking stretch and a half. I can go right now and open a Google account and throw up a Mr. Beast logo as the user. Am I automatically an associate of his? I wish. I'm pretty sure that my tweets and YouTube comments got suppressed because I tagged him. I think there must be an approval process or something when things involve him. So, yeah, no. Not how it works. In February 23, Deez Nutz LLC first learned the defendant, Feastables Inc., was using the confusingly similar and phonetically equivalent mark Deez Nutz in connection with the manufacture and sale of chocolate peanut bars. Excuse me. On February 22, Deez Nutz LLC sent a cease and desist correspondence through counsel to Feastables Inc. demanding that they stop infringing on the Deez Nutz mark through the use of confusingly similar Deez Nutz. A true and correct copy of the correspondence is shown at Exhibit C. On April 4, 2023, Feastables Inc. responded through counsel and advised they would continue infringing on the mark in connection with their manufacture and sale of chocolate peanut bars. Actually, I tell you what. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to check something. Is that... How do you spell it? S-T-A-P-S. So what's that? That's first. There it is. Okay. We have... application for injunctions, trademark reports, proposed summons. Okay, so Jimmy has not as of yet responded. Okay. I mean, I suppose it's only been a week and a half, so... Alright. With that logic, all anime pics are real, lol. Well, there is that too. Which they ignored. On April 4, they responded. On May 15, Deez Nutz LLC sent a subsequent letter reiterating its meritorious claims, says you, and concerns the defendant creating a likelihood of confusion amongst parties, customers, and causing irreparable harm to the goodwill and reputation of the plaintiff's Deez Nutz mark. Stop looking at me sideways, it's getting me excited. Look, my sincere apologies. I upgraded my setup a little bit in the interim, so I now have screen. So if anyone thinks that I'm looking up a skirt or looking off or giving you the side eye or whatever, I'm just... Well, actually, hang on. At the moment, I've still got that echidna video up. Okay. More than a decade after the plaintiff's respective adoption and use of the Deez Nutz mark on its various nuts and apparel, defendant initiated use of the following Deez Nutz products, which is being sold in connection with the defendant's house brand Feastables and Mr. Beast. You get a screen, pretty much. I sent a photo to Vices for my setup, and he's like, God damn it, Hayden, now I need to get 5 because I need to be superior. I just said it was not a pissing contest, fuck. Plaintiff Deez Nutz realleges blah blah blah. Okay. Continues to use the consuming and confusingly similar and phonetically equivalent Deez Nutz mark in Florida and elsewhere, which has created confusion in the marketplace regarding the origin of the products. They really are hanging their hat on the fact that it's phonetic. Plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC never authorized or consented to use. They're not going to care. Misconduct in using the Deez Nutz mark on the same or closely related goods tarnishes and disparages Plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC's hard-earned goodwill. Defendant Feastables Inc.'s commercial use of Deez Nutz mark has caused and will likely continue to cause consumer confusion in the marketplace with the registered Deez Nutz trademark. Look, that may well be the case, but here's what I'm getting out of this so far. You've got... There's no real argument when it comes to the print trademark. The words Deez Nutz, although they sound phonetically similar, when you look at them, they're not going to cause confusion because A, Deez Nutz from Mr. Beast is going to A, be generational, B, it's going to be associated with Mr. Beast because, well, larger reputation. But anyone that is familiar with the spelling of Deez Nutz, D-E-E-Z, is going to be familiar with internet culture. And that's sort of where I'm drawing my distinction here, is that I feel as if neither should be able to have this as a trademark and in terms of usage. Because it became a meme, because it's become so widely popularized as something separate from what they are both running as, I feel like maybe it's one of those things that should be taken out of context and put over in this thing where you can't trademark them. But that's, that's my opinion. His name is Jimmy and this is about nuts. This is true. Every time Hayden says Z, I keep thinking about Sean Connery. Staring at Deez Nutz right now, they're $2.57 a bar for the Mr. Beast thing. Creative Commons. Yeah, it's more... It's like trying to trademark the name John Smith or something like, or the word fire, or, if it's made its way into common vernacular for various reasons, I think it's leaning towards that point where it shouldn't be trademarkable anyway. Okay. Deez Nutz LLC has been and continues to be injured by the unauthorized use of the infringement since the announcement by defendant Feastables of its chocolate peanut bar. Deez Nutz LLC's online marketing and social media has been forced to regularly address consumer inquiries and statements regarding the association between Deez Nutz, Feastables Inc. and James Stephen Donaldson. In many cases, Deez Nutz LLC has been baselessly and falsely accused of infringing on intellectual property rights, even though the plaintiff holds the registered trademark and having used it for more than a decade. As an example, Composite Exhibit F is a true and accurate depiction of such communications. Wow, they are so butthurt they included copies of the messages. Do Deez Nutz have a trademark on the chocolate bars, or does it not matter? Sheila, because they are still in the same sphere of influence, we'll say, that's really where their argument is. So you don't trademark specifically for a type of food. It's this trademark applies to food. I mean, if this was Deez Nutz Automotive, we wouldn't be having this argument. Is it fair to argue that due to the fact that Deez Nutz merchandise has become common since 2016, the company did not enforce its trademark since they lost protections? No, Jacob, because they're arguing that they have been, they're arguing that they have been vociferously and vigorously trying to protect their copyright. We probably just haven't heard much about it. Okay. Plaintiff has neither the online reach nor the resources necessary to counter the confusion being wrought by the defendant, Feastables Inc. and James Stephen Donaldson. Hang on. So you're openly admitting that you do not have the online presence whereby it would cause confusion. I don't know that I necessarily would have put that in there. Okay. To the detriment of the registered mark. We have also noticed confusion in text search bars for retail websites which carry out products. For example, in typing Deez Nutz into search bar for Walmart.com, including numerous suggestions which include Mr. Beast's bar, Mr. Beast, chocolate, Feastables, candy bar, and chocolate bar, which are associated with the Deez Nutz chocolate peanut bar. A true and accurate depiction of the Walmart search bar suggestions is attached and incorporated into G. Similarly, a search for Deez Nutz only prompts suggestions relating to Deez Nutz products on Walmart's search bar. Take that up with Walmart. Defendant Feastables Inc.'s use of the infringing Deez Nutz mark has caused and continues to cause irreparable harm to Deez Nutz LLC and their goodwill and reputation. The annoying thing is, I think they have a case here. Deez Nutz gave written notice to the defendants of their registration, their rights therein, but the defendant refused or continues to refuse to cease its infringing conduct. Unless enjoined and restrained by the court, blah, 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 Feastables Inc. will continue to engage in unlawful conduct. So basically they're butthurt because their product does not seem to be anywhere near as popular. False designation of origin. Why are they claiming this? Use of Deez Nutz on a trademark on the chocolate peanut bars misconduct alleged herein constitutes commercial use of a trademark or false designation of origin. Oh, okay, so I mean something different, fair enough. Or a false or misleading description or representation of fact which is likely to cause confusion, mistake, or deception as to the affiliation connect. No one is going to mistake a Deez Nutz chocolate bar as belonging to Deez Nutz LLC. I'm sorry, okay. As to the origin, quality, sponsorship, or approval of the defendant's goods or associated activities, thereby causing damage to the reputation of the plaintiff, Deez Nutz LLC. By engaging in misconduct alleged herein, defendant Feastables has infringed on the mark and rights therein. Defendant Feastables Inc. had knowledge of the registration, willful intentional acts of infringement. What else they got? Florida common law trademark infringement, common law unfair competition, violation of the FDUPA, damaging Deez Nutz. Just read that as a fooder is damaging Deez Nutz. Defendant Feastables Inc. continues unauthorized use of the infringing and phonetically equivalent Deez Nutz. Yeah. Prayer for relief. So, plaintiff Deez Nutz LLC respectfully requests the following relief: preliminary and permanent injunction enjoining Feastables Inc., its employees, agents, blah, 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 from imitating, copying, using, reproducing, registering, attempting to register, or the display of any mark so resembling plaintiff's Deez Nutz mark as so is likely to cause confusion, mistake, or deception therewith, and use any false description, representation, thing, calculated or likely to cause consumer confusion. Getting lost in Deez Nutz. An order directing the Feastables removal signage and deliver up for destruction all materials and matter in its possession or custody or under its control that infringes on the mark. Good luck with that. An order for corrective advertisement in the form, manner, and frequency that is acceptable to Deez Nutz and the court. An order directing that they file with the court within 30 days after such injury judgment, a report in writing under oath setting forth the detail and manner of which is complied with the court's orders. Judgment against them awarding all profits of Feastables Inc. resulting from its misconduct alleged herein and in an amount to be proven at trial. Get fucked. Judgment against Feastables Inc. awarding Deez Nutz treble damages based on Feastable Inc.'s profits after an accounting thereof, including any statutory enhancements and other enhancements on account of willful and intentional nature of their misconduct. Award of pre-judgment and post-judgment interest, and award of Deez Nutz costs and expenses, and any other relief as the court deems fit. They're requesting trial by jury. So there you go. And they didn't, damn it, we didn't have the exhibits. Some of those, they're trying to copyright the premise of a pun in reality. Well, see, here's the thing, Coke Fury. Pretty much, yeah. Really, is what it boils down to. I mean, the premise itself existed from, what they say, 1992. And yes, it's trademarked in a very specific way. That's all well and good. I don't know US copyright law well enough to say that the phonetics of it is enough to give rise. I think they're swinging for the fences. Personally, here in Australia, it would be a bit rough for them to try this one. And now let's talk about teabagging. Let's not. Your Honor, I need you and the jury to help protect these nuts. It's like singing these nuts waiting for something to stick. Yeah, basically. This one's... See, this one's interesting. It's got more legs to it than a couple of the other trademark copyright cases that I've seen in the legal sphere in the last week or so. There was another one that I was going to look at, and for some reason is completely flown out of my mind. Damn it, that's going to really annoy me. I'm just wondering whether or not this is an attack of opportunity, frankly. After seeing exactly how frequently Mr. Beast is being sued over various things, this may be a tactic for some quick cash, in my own personal opinion. Yeah, look, I probably should have reached out to Kurt before covering this one, but I'm still getting used to the ability to have people on, shall we say. The Indiana Jones ones looks fun. Well, there is that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we implore you to do the right thing with Deez nuts. We leave them in your capable hands. Oh, that's funny. All right, so let's move on to something else that's a little bit crazy. A shark has been discovered in Australia with creepy human-like characteristics, which is baffling doctors. A new shark species with bizarrely similar characteristics to humans has been discovered by scientists in Australia. The new species, named the painted horn shark, is part of the order Heterodontiformes, classified by their unique body shape and small horns above their eyes. They resemble fossils of long-extinct sharks, but are not closely related. Whoa, amateur iconoclast coming in with a $5. If this was a marketing stunt, it worked. I'm off to the local Wally World to compare some of Deez nuts. Well, there you go. Hey, Kurt, what do you know about Deez nuts? That's funny. It's only around 41 to 75 feet below the surface of the water in the northwest coast of Australia. Researchers say the study published on July 12 in the journal Diversity. They have several rows of teeth and incredibly large jaw relative to the skull, which enables them to snack on creatures like mollusks and crustaceans. So where do the human characteristics come in? Helen O'Neill, a fish biologist at the ANFC, part of the Australian government agency CSIRO, I thought they'd close that down because, you know, this order of shark resembles fossils long extinct due to similar morphology, including spines, but we know that they're not closely related. Okay, you already said that. Speaking to Live Science, teeth of all of the horn shark species are very similar to each other, but the horn shark as a group have very different teeth to most sharks. They have grasping teeth near the front and large molar teeth as you move towards the back of the jaw. Huh. Well, there you go. Okay, that makes sense. I see that now. So we've got the sharp incisors at the front and the molars at the back, because that's how you generate the headline. So, researchers described the shark species of the order in 2005, and scientists are skeptical that they will find any more of these underwater predators. This order of shark, and very distinctive with their large head, crests above their eyes, and spines in front of dorsal fins. Point is, just one more reason why the Australian beaches are nice and dangerous. Mind you, you're only really likely to lose a toe to this, I would assume. Alright. Moving on. A federal judge has barred Texas from enforcing a book rating law, calling it unconstitutional. House Bill 900 requires book vendors to rate their materials based on the depictions or references to sex before selling them to schools. Vendors say the law aims at regulating protected speech with vague and overly broad terms. A federal judge on Thursday said he will stop a new Texas law aimed at keeping sexually explicit materials off of school library shelves on the eve of the law going into effect, according to state attorneys and lawyers for a group who sued over the proposal. District Judge Alan D. Albright indicated during a hearing that he will grant a temporary injunction sought by a group of book groups and sellers, including 2 Texas bookstores who sued over State House Bill 900 in July, the group's lawyers said in a statement. Albright will issue a written order in 1 or 2 weeks. In the meantime, the state cannot enforce the law, according to the statement. House Bill 900, which was approved during last year's regular legislative session, requires school library vendors to rate all of their books and materials for appropriateness before selling them to schools based on the presence of sexual depictions or references.
It also requires vendors to rank materials previously sold to schools and issue a recall for those deemed sexually explicit and in active use by a school. Now, I can see people in chat making the argument, well, hang on, this has already happened with video games, this has already happened with movies. I would say that this is because they're specifically designating it towards sexual material. I have yet to see what the actual judgment said or anything like that. That's why we're here, because I try and give you my live reactions. I would think that in Drag Time Story Hour, I presume. Well, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay. Plaintiffs argue that the law violates their constitutional rights by targeting protected speech with its broad and vague language. The lawsuit further alleges House Bill 900 would force plaintiffs to comply with the government's views, even if they did not agree with them, and that the law operates as prior restraint. There we go. That's probably what it is. They're saying that certain things, if it's rated to a certain level, can't be provided or can't be whatever. You walk into a video store, not that any of us have done that in a good 10 years, and you see all the stuff that's rated PG through to X. Because they're saying that the book vendors are not allowed to provide after a certain rating, that's probably where it is. I mean, it should be up to the schools as to whether or not they purchase certain material, but then it's a really bad look if the schools are purchasing X-rated material. See the story about the YouTube Family Channel 8 passengers? I think I've grabbed that one, yeah. Sure, I don't see a problem if it's similar to the movie rating system. Red box. The behind the curtain section. Where are we? The vendors say it's impossible for them to comply with the rating system because of the sheer volume of materials that they would need to review. I don't care. You don't get a pass just like you can't just grandfather porn into a library. The laws also call for creating state school library standards that prohibit sexually explicit material, requiring parental consent for students to check out materials classified by vendors as sexually relevant, and giving the Texas Education Agency authority to review a vendor's rating. If the TEA disagrees with the vendor's rating and gives it a different one, the vendor must use the agency's rating. Vendors who do not will be added to a list of vendors that schools cannot buy library materials from. During the bill's legislative hearings, librarians and legal experts shared concerns and worries that its language would ensnare books that are not inappropriate and, to the contrary, may be titles important for students whose lived experiences may not be reflected in other literature. Bing, 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 there it is. They're concerned about individuals from the alphabet community not being fairly represented in libraries. Way to say the quiet part out. Well, that's not really out loud. They said the quiet part reasonably quietly still. The proposal from Representative Jared Peterson, Republican from Frisco, arrived amid an ongoing debate about what material are appropriate to be stocked in schools and public libraries. Patterson and supporters of such regulations say libraries are infested with inappropriate books that must be vetted and removed. I'm not a fan of book burning, but this classification thing definitely has merit. Certain things should be on a higher shelf. I don't want my 5-year-old to pick up a book that has depictions of PPs and VJJs in it. And don't get me wrong, I've seen stuff that I can verify on Twitter. I've seen stuff in news articles about what the content of these books is. I'm looking forward to going on a school tour of the library where my daughter's going to attend school next year. I'm going to be interested to see exactly what's in there. Alright, where are we? Skeptics of that panic and literary advocates counter that the books singled out by politicians often explore sexuality and race, topics that have been swept up in cultural war politics, but remain important for youth who may not be comfortable talking about such matters with others, which I don't really have an issue with. I have an issue with it being open and available to kids who have underdeveloped prefrontal cortexes and do not really understand and have not formed their own worldviews as of yet. The librarian in my hometown put Conan the Barbarian in the children's section. Yes, Gun Club makes a very good point there. There are books on shelves that cannot be read in school board meetings. For anyone that didn't see it, a parent stood up and read out passages from a book in front of a school board meeting. That would not pass TV advertising standards for the middle of the day. Like, that, I was sitting there listening to him reading the passages out of this book that is openly available to children of all ages. And I was sitting there thinking, okay, this sounds like an instructional book that you might purchase from a adult bookstore. My mum had a conversation with the librarian 30 years ago about it. Okay. Realised how liberal my schools were, but still nobody wanted to look at the weird book for real. Despite the concerns, House Bill 900 sailed through the legislative process before Governor Greg Abbott signed it in June. It was set to go into effect on Friday. However, the law's language suggests the new requirement won't have to be fulfilled immediately. Most, if not all, of the state's roughly 5.4 million public school children have already begun the 2023-2024 school year. The lawsuit's plaintiffs include 2 bookstores, Austin's Book People and West Houston's Blue Willow Bookshop, as well as the American Booksellers Association, the Association of American Publishers, and the Authors Guild and Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. Texas Attorney General's office said Thursday that it would move to reverse the injunction and appeal the judge's decision. Of course it did. The office has not received the judge's written order or decision by Thursday afternoon, a spokesperson said. Court representative for Albright did not respond to an inquiry about his comments during Thursday's hearing, reportedly by the plaintiff's lawyers and on social media by at least one plaintiff. We are grateful for the court's swift action in deciding to enjoin this law in the process preserving the long-established rights of local communities to set their standards, protecting the constitutionally protected speech of authors, booksellers, publishers, and readers, preventing the state government from unlawfully compelling speech on the part of private citizens, and shielding Texas businesses from the imposition of impossibly onerous conditions. Yeah, that's why you're doing it. We look forward to reading the court's full opinion once it is issued. Where's the FCC on this? That's a damn good question too. I don't personally have an issue with a rating system for communication that's intended. It's nice when you look at movies, when you look at TV shows, to have a rough idea of what's contained within it. I would like to know if reading material provided to a young child is going to have sexually explicit material in it. I may just consider putting the book back. I don't understand why this is an issue. I mean, okay. When I was in year, I want to say 8 or 9, I was reading through a book that was one of the prescribed books for the reading class. We had to read the book, do assignments on it, all that sort of stuff. Same sort of things that you know, book reports, whatever else. I distinctly remember that book because it involved the first sort of explicit interaction of teenagers fooling around in it, for lack of a better term. And I remember thinking at the time, is this appropriate for us to be reading in class? Like, it felt, for lack of a better term, naughty. And by today's standards, it's tame. But at the time, I was like, hang on, is this really appropriate? I'm not sure exactly how this would be counted as... Hey, Grant. I don't understand how this is counted as infringing on speech. I think the fact that the government can sort of just determine who can and can't supply, that's really commerce as opposed to curtailing speech. You're not preventing someone from being able to read the books. You're saying that schools can't purchase the books. That's like saying that drug dealers can't purchase drugs. You know, it's a little bit different in my head. But anyway, the authors who are writing sexually explicit targeting kids, the authors should be charged with manufacturing child porn. Saying the quiet part out loud there. Terrified of being exposed, probably because of what happens to PDF files in prison. This is true. Alright, so moving from one set of authors to another, let's talk about Corey Richards, because I do want to try and cover her trial, provided it is actually televised, and by the looks of it, it's going to, because her previous hearing was covered by Court TV. For anyone that does not remember, Corey Richards was the author... I'm going to stop doing it like this. I don't know why I keep turning my hands. Author who killed her husband and then utilized it to write a book for her kids about dealing with the grief of the loss of a parent. Prosecutors allege she spiked her husband's drink with fentanyl. The state is not pursuing the death penalty for some reason. A Utah woman accused of killing her husband by adding fentanyl to his Moscow Mule appeared in court on Friday. Corey Richens, a mother and author who wrote a children's book about grief after her husband's death. At the time, she was thought to be a grieving mother trying to make the best of a tragic situation. She was then arrested 2 months later and charged with her husband's death. A hearing on Friday in Park City, Utah did not result in a set date for the preliminary hearing, but the judge ordered both sides to reconvene for a status hearing later this year. The defense is still working through the material handed over during discovery, which has been amicable so far. The judge has set a status hearing for November 3rd, 2023, with the goal of setting a date for preliminary hearing then. Defense attorneys said based on the volume of evidence they have to go through, they would not be ready for a preliminary hearing until after the first of the year. The team may be hoping to push the date into February or March. The preliminary hearing is expected to include prosecutors presenting evidence that they have that indicates that Curry is behind the murder. Some of the evidence has already been made public. Back in June, 3 witnesses took the stand detailing through investigative techniques they used to track Corey's drug purchase of the illicit fentanyl they believe was used to poison her husband. Corey was visibly distraught during the hearing as she heard the evidence pile up against her. No shit! Would I become visibly distressed if the evidence proving I killed my husband was made public? Maybe. Sounds like the lady who gave her husband fish cleaner in his tea and claimed it was hydroxychloroquine. It's the equivalent of a person giving a kid a Playboy magazine. Everyone would consider that inappropriate and illegal, so why do school libraries do it? My school doesn't have these books. It's not like a kid can walk into an adult bookstore and pick up... What I don't understand... Okay, hang on. I'm going to go big for a second. Here's the thing. Ladies... You can get pissed all you want about this, but this is one thing that I have learnt throughout my 33 years on this planet. There is a distinction between written erotica and imagery, and I don't know why. Women will claim that they don't watch or read porn. Sorry, they don't really watch or look at porn, but they will read the fucking shit out of it, okay? 50 Shades of Grey is a prime example. And if it weren't for that fact, then the Red Label books wouldn't exist. But I digress. Why is there a distinction and difference between written erotica and a visible medium? I do not understand that. I cannot wrap my head around it. I don't understand why that is okay. But anyway. Just doing that so I can clip that out later so that I can clean this up. Visibly distraught. Some of his family also gave powerful testimony about how the brother's death has hurt the community and his 3 sons. Corey faces a number of charges, including first-degree aggravated murder and second-degree drug possession with intent to distribute. Richens is also charged with financial crimes, but both the state and defense anticipate changes to some of those charges. The state will not be pursuing the death penalty in the case. If convicted, she could face 25 years in prison. Photos worth 1,000 words. I don't believe you, Just Dawn. I'm sorry, I just don't. Okay. So let's watch the hearing, shall we? That was last Friday. Alright. Share this tab, full screen that. Bring up the audio.
We're on the record, 231-500-139, State of Utah versus Corey Darden Richens. Can I have counsel for the state make their appearance, please?
Oh, you specifically meant, yeah, okay, fair enough.
And for the defense.
Sky Lazaro.
Very good. Good afternoon, Ms. Richens. All right, we're here for a scheduling conference. Ms. Lazaro, tell me where we are.
The state and I have been working through discovery and some requests that I've made. We've come to an agreement on everything. There might be one issue we bring to your attention in the future, but we're not there yet. So there's some things we're still working on getting turned over. We filed a stipulated motion for a protective order with a proposed order, I think, right before this hearing that we finalized.
Not really my taste.
With regard to some personnel and some law enforcement records that I've requested. So I think there's still some discovery coming, but I feel like we are working, both of us, really hard. The state's been really diligent about getting things.
Oh, for God's sakes! But like we've been working very hard and very diligently. Yeah, she's just trying to make sure that she doesn't get the judge pissed off. Is there a way to? I don't think I can. No, it's a private player. Okay, I am unable to move this any faster, unfortunately. Sister has the best impact statement when she said her brother used his socks and sleeves when he had emergencies on the way to family gatherings. Yeah. This is a guy... Look, on the one hand, I have a lot of sympathy for the family. On the other hand, he was aware that she was trying to kill him, and he stayed. Like, that's the part that I can't wrap my head around.
To us as quickly as possible and organizing it. I will say that there is a copious amount of records. I think our base numbers are up over 1.2 million at this point. A lot of it is phone downloads. So that's status-wise as far as what's happening, that's kind of where we're at.
All right. Where do you want to go from here?
I would be okay to set a prelim because I don't anticipate any discovery issues as of right now coming up. I think we'll have everything. I do think that it's going to take some time for us to digest everything and have our investigator follow up on what we need to do in order to be prepared for the preliminary hearing.
Talk to me about how you see the preliminary hearing being substantive.
Directing Cross is going to be so painful if she's asking questions like that, though.
I think with regard to, I mean, I would have to let the state speak to who they're going to call. I don't necessarily see several of the counts being much different. You know, I don't know if they'll call a medical examiner or things along that line, or just the detective, or, you know, 1102 statements. That's going to be up, I guess, to them to decide how they want to present the information. I do expect it to be different in regards to the financial count allegations with regard to what they're going to have to present as evidence in order to meet their burden with regard to the elements of each of those. So I do expect a lot more on that side of things than what we heard at the detention hearing.
Okay. Just for the gents and ladies, you can harangue me and lampoon me for this later. Guys, 1 in the chat for the lawyer, 2 in the chat for the defendant. I'm very curious.
Well, like I said, that's up to them too, so.
Ms. Cassell.
I think that's fair. We have not amended the information, but we anticipate
Happy International Women's Day. Oh,
Yes,
Danny knows it.
that is
Oh, I
correct.
suppose it is Utah. That makes sense.
And so, and then we will, that will be in addition to what I believe, and we haven't made that determination yet either, but that'll be in addition to what we.
The princess coming in.
Or evidence we provided at the detention hearing.
All right. Do you have a sense of when you're filing amended information?
We met yesterday with the Attorney General's office. I think we got some good information out of that. I think we could be prepared to file soon.
Forgive me, I didn't follow that reference.
Oh, they're just helping us understand
Okay.
the insurance fraud
I see.
and helping with it.
I love that she... So,
Okay.
the thing you got to remember as well is,
No,
we're not just talking about the death as well.
I think that
We've got insurance fraud, we've got... Hang on, I'll cover it when I go through the other news article.
Okay. Assuming you do that, are you prepared?
It's going to be a wild case.
I think
It
we're
is.
prepared to set a preliminary hearing. I think it kind of determine. I think I guess it depends on how far out you are willing to set it. But yeah, I think we're prepared to set a preliminary hearing.
Well, I'll set this earlier or as late, I guess, with reluctance as defendant wants. But it sounds like the state's prepared to go forward whenever I set one.
Well, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
realistically, they've had 18 months to prepare their case, and I'm just getting all the discovery. So, you know, bearing that in mind, I realistically, I don't think there's any way we can be prepared for a prelim, just with the amount of documents and information that we need to get through until after the first of the year. And I'm thinking more like
Hang on. She was,
February or
was she
March.
charged?
And I hate to do that to my client because she's
We
in
are
custody.
just showing probable cause, right?
Well, I understand that, Judge, but I have to read the thing. I mean, I
I'm not
can't.
suggesting otherwise.
I mean, I'm not, I understand the burden and I understand the state's burden, but if I don't, I'm gonna be.
Hang on, so she was
ineffective from the
arrested
word go if I
in
don't read what they provided to me.
May last year, and she's reckon she's not going to be ready for a prelim. Are you serious?
Do you want to set that today, or do you want another schedule?
I'm happy to do it however the court
Maybe
feels
teacher
most
in Jersey.
comfortable. I guess it doesn't matter.
What's the defendant accused of? She's accused of slipping fentanyl into her husband's drink. But see, here's the thing. This chick, so you've got the insurance fraud. You've got the family that's going to testify that, you know, she may or may not have tried to kill him a couple of times beforehand. This one has the possibility to be a bit theatrical. I'm sure she is very competent. I'm hoping that her cadence when she's actually asking questions and stuff is a little bit better, though. Yeah, she very much is. Yeah, I can see that. Cuddy from House. Yeah.
That much to me if we're setting it out a ways, or if we want to come back maybe in November or beginning of December for a status and see where we're at on everything, and if we're in a good place, then get one set.
I think our only concern was, Judge, of getting on your calendar. So if we set it out for another scheduling in, say, 30 to 60 days.
It may not surprise you that this case will just push its way in my calendar.
Fair enough.
Okay.
In large part because Richards is in custody, right? Any
Just a little bit.
custody case of this magnitude would push things out of the way, so that won't be a problem.
I would anticipate several days for a prelim. And I'm just thinking on the financial crimes.
Hard for me to understand.
Oh, am I the only person that still gets PTSD when someone says financial crimes?
Not that I need to evaluate it, but I don't know what those accounts are.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I'm comfortable setting this in November for a status conference.
Okay, alright, so we don't need to listen to the entire thing then. Alright, so that's interesting. So, 3rd of November, we're coming back for a status conference. Fingers crossed that will be recorded as well. It's going to be an interesting one, because let's just rehash the story, shall we? Where are we? I'll bring that back up. Corey Richards, accused of poisoning her husband with fentanyl-laced Moscow Mule, looks disheveled as she weeps in court. I didn't see any weeping in court, but anyway. As defense attorney says, it's hard for her to be away from her kids. A Utah mum accused of poisoning her mum with fentanyl-laced Moscow Mule, has appeared in court looking disheveled as she wept in court. She's accused of poisoning her husband, Eric, 39, by slipping in 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl into a Moscow Mule in March 2022. She made another court appearance earlier on Friday in Summit County alongside her attorney, Sky Lazaro. Wearing a blue prison uniform because, you know, we care what she was wearing, Richards appeared disheveled as Lazaro comforted her following the hearing. She said to the news outlet, "This is hard. She's been in custody. She's lost her kids. She's going through a lot." Well, maybe don't kill your husband. All she wanted from the beginning was to grieve her husband. Yeah, she caused the grieving so she could grieve. I really don't have any sympathy here. Like, why the hell would I? During Friday's hearing, he told Lazaro that was told by Lazaro she had a lot of documents to go through and needed more time. Mazurek agreed with her and set a status hearing for November 3. Richens and her husband had been arguing about her plans to purchase and flip a 10-acre, $2 million home in the days before he was found dead at their Utah home last March, according to court documents. Pretty sure she went ahead and purchased that fairly soon after he died. Caitlin W. with the member chat there. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. Or she didn't shoot him. She slipped him fentanyl. So, slightly different there. Okay. Which isn't hard since it's measured in MCG. Now you're craving a Moscow mule. Have to grift even if it means making strong Moscow mules. Ooh, that could be fun. Oh, yeah, okay. So, let's see. So the trial, probably 2-week trial. How many Moscow mules can I drink in? All right. Richens and her husband had been arguing. Yep, prosecutors say Eric found out his wife had taken out a $250,000 home equity line of credit and spent it, withdrawn $100,000 from his bank accounts, and spent more than $30,000 on his credit cards. Corey Richens also stole about $134,000 from his business meant for tax payments. The documents state that she agreed to repay her husband back when he confronted her about the missing money. One day after his death, affidavits of search warrants show that Corey signed the closing papers on the property. It was the day after he died. My apologies. And invited friends for a party where she was drinking and celebrating. You close on a property, you go and drink and celebrate the day after your significant other dies. Yeah, there's a lot of grief there. Mother of three later self-published a children's book titled Are You With Me? About an angel wing-clad deceased father watching over his sons. Because, wound, salt, knife, back, twist. The funny thing is, I wanted to get a copy of the book. Not necessarily pay for it so she can get proceeds of crime or whatever. Because she wouldn't anyway. But I just wanted to look at it. I just wanted to see how bad it was. Delayed grief? Oh, I'm sure there was some delayed grief there. Delayed grief at getting caught. Both literally and figuratively. She promoted it on television and radio, describing the book as a way to help children grieve the loss of a loved one. She said in an interview that she was motivated to write the book after searching Amazon and Barnes & Noble and finding nothing to help them cope. How about not killing their father? I went to Amazon and Barnes & Noble to try and find something to help us cope at night. Nights are the hardest. I just wanted some story to read to my kids at night and couldn't find anything that suited them, so I was like, let's just write one. She went on to describe her husband's death as a shock. My husband passed away unexpectedly last year because I sort of expected him to survive the fentanyl. March 4 was the 1-year anniversary for us. He was 39. It was a complete shock to us all. Prosecutors say Corey poisoned Eric with a lethal amount of the drug to get money for his life insurance. Excuse me. Richens was arrested in May on charges of first-degree aggravated murder, and that's sort of why I call bullshit on the discovery. I mean, she was arrested in May, arraigned, I think it was June or July. Anyway, it's my own personal opinion on that. First-degree aggravated murder and multiple counts of secondary possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. Oh, she distributed it all right. Prior to his death in March 22, he had changed his will to make his sister sole beneficiary of his life insurance policy and was even thinking of getting a divorce, according to his family. Yeah, because he'd caught her previously trying to kill him. Family attorney and spokesperson Greg Scortis previously told Daily Mail Eric was afraid of Corey trying to kill him after 2 separate instances in which he became violently ill after drinking or eating with his wife. Presumably because she didn't put enough fentanyl in the food. Authorities say Corey changed his joint life insurance policy, which he shared with his business partner Cody Wright, so that she was the only beneficiary. But when the insurance company told the partners who own the business C&E Stonemasonry of the change, they were able to change it back. After finding out that Richens had tried to change his life insurance policy, Eric changed the beneficiaries of his will and his power of attorney to his sister. A warrant states that he did this without telling his wife because he was scared that she might kill him for the money. Too little too late. In the aftermath of his death, an unnamed acquaintance came forward to reveal he sold Corey the fentanyl. After he died, Corey claimed he had an addiction to the pain medicine in high school, but there was no substance abuse issues since. Friends and family told police that they hadn't any idea of Eric being addicted to any form of medicine. I love how they say medicine here instead of, drugs. Drugs. Is medicine, not drugs. And officers did not find any painkillers in the family home. She's not yet entered a plea on charges of criminal homicide, aggravated murder, and 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance. And thankfully they're not talking about the financial crimes here, because that would take a whole nother story. Mummy mixes a banger of a drink? Yeah. If the case goes to trial, it could hinge largely on an unidentified informant who prosecutors say sold Richards the drugs that medical examiners later found in her husband's system. Charging documents and warrants detail interviews in which the informant said she sold Richards hydrocodone and fentanyl in the weeks and months before her husband's death. Prosecutors say the drug purchase timeline corresponds with his death and the allegation that his wife laced a Valentine's Day sandwich with hydrocodone weeks prior. After her husband survived the first alleged poisoning, Corey Richards asked for stronger drugs. Some of the Michael Jackson stuff, the dealer told investigators, according to prosecutors. When the pop star died of cardiac arrest in 2009, medical examiners found prescription drugs and powerful anesthetics in his system, not fentanyl. Richards repeatedly denied her involvement in the day of his death in March 2022, even telling police, "My husband is active. He doesn't just die in his sleep. This is insane." No shit, he doesn't just die in his sleep. Hello? She smiled 2 times. You can see the evil clearly without filters and makeups to hide behind. As it's hard for the kids to be away from their father, keep crying. Well, yeah, so 3 kids and a dog, basically. God, I feel sorry for those kids. I mean, don't get me wrong, just in case there's anything genetic there, keep a fucking close eye on them. But, I want the Rockstar shit top shelf. What do we got in terms of the gallery? Video. Hang on, what's that video? That's a different one. Oh, she didn't. Oh, that contemptible bitch. Oh, that. Nope. So, yeah. So, basically, Corey Richards back in court on November 3. I'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully the trial, prelim, we might be looking May, June next year, probably. Yes, you did. So, yeah. All right, hang on. Let me clear up some things here, and we shall move on. All right, got that. Hang on, what happened there? Oh, the sweet and sour murder. Yes. No, I'm not paying for shit all, Courier Mail. Play the damn video. How much was the life insurance? A couple $100,000, I think.
Girl in front of a judge today accused of fatally stabbing another girl, all stemming from a dispute over sweet and sour sauce.
Our Fox 5 Stephanie Ramirez is back.
When you need that sweet and sour, you just gotta have it. Mind you, this is one criticism that I did have when I was in America. Admittedly, the sweet and sour sauce that I had was from McDonald's, and I know we all don't have the greatest of opinions of McDonald's in America. Our sweet and sour sauce is so much better.
Back on the scene after sitting in on court. Stephanie, today's hearing is
It's not like it was a Szechuan sauce.
DC is starting its juvenile curfew enforcement pilot program.
And Tisha, Jacqueline, we don't know if this pilot program would have prevented death. What we know is that this fatal stabbing happened around 2:10 in the morning, right outside this U Street McDonald's. The time of day, this U Street corridor, all being targeted as part of this new curfew enforcement pilot program that starts today, as you mentioned, but also new this week. We also heard from the U.S. attorney who said that he instructed his team to pursue adult charges when it comes to 16 and 17-year-old robbery and carjacking spree suspects. The mayor was asked about this yesterday.
Didn't have that conversation with the U.S. attorney, so I'm quite sure if he said it, he has some trend information or some data that suggests that that's the appropriate prosecution journey.
See, I hadn't actually, I wasn't aware of the whole curfew thing. That's not great. And yes, I am just stopping so that I don't get copyright claimed, because it seems like the news stations like to do that now. I don't know that hard on crime is going to fix this situation. It's at a point where we're actually having to enforce a curfew, and you've got people like murdering each other over sweet and sour sauce. I don't think it's a lost cause, but I think maybe something drastic needs to happen.
So I would welcome to have him to have that conversation with all of us. We need both prosecutors in the district to take this seriously. None of us wants to be in a position where we're teaching children that there are no consequences for bad activity. Because if we don't teach them, they're going to learn it one way or the other. And they're going to learn it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, SD Tricky Girl. That's what I'm saying. Because it's a curfew just for minors, you don't think that's going to automatically cause rebellion and disenfranchisement with a younger generation that are going to come out swinging? I mean, we always see the overcorrection with anything. We had sexual repression for how many years, and then we had a generation of sluts. Both men and women. I'm not being sexist there, I'm just saying. We had prohibition. That didn't really work. You have the war on drugs. That really hasn't worked. Which reminds me, I do need to... there is a couple of things that I need to deal with in terms of drug-related stuff soon. That will be coming. I can see this... I can see a minor-related curfew causing issues in the next few years, because you're going to have a whole bunch of pissed-off kids that think that the government hates them, that the world's against them, and they basically just need to take up crime, effectively, because nothing else matters to them. Like, that's what I can see happening, personally.
By going to a hospital, going to a funeral, or going to jail.
DC Mayor Muriel Bowser did not...
I love that she said funeral before jail.
...directly answer whether she felt the fatal...
Before I go, any chance of a happy birthday? Of course. Before I go. Shit, you caught me on the hop here. See, this is what happens when people don't generally ask me for these sorts of things. I would sing, but I suck at it. Here's to before I go. It is better to be one more year over the hill than to be 6 foot under it. May you have many more blessed years ahead of you, and may the cake be not fattening. Cheers. And this is why I need more practice at those. No, I'm not singing.
16-year-old stabbing suspect should have been charged as an adult. The teen is facing second-degree murder as a juvenile. Just yesterday, I also spoke with the mother of a 15-year-old shooting victim whose murderer could not be charged as an adult because of D.C. law. That mother telling us that she feels like cars are being valued more than children. Today, the U.S. Attorney's Office told Fox 5
that's
they
a bit
have
disturbing.
Number of homicide and shooting cases where juveniles have been charged as adults, and explain Wednesday's discussion is not something new, but more reaffirming the crimes they can pursue adult charges on based on previously agreed policy.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have an issue with that. I very much have an issue with that. If a kid commits a substantially and sufficiently heinous crime, I don't see any reason why there should be any delineation between charging as a child and charging it as an adult. If a 16-year-old very deliberately and very purposely slits someone's throat or puts a bullet in them and ends their life, I don't believe they should be charged as a child. I don't. If it's intentional, if they knew what the hell they was doing, and their intent was to end somebody's life, fuck that. I'm sorry, no, you don't go to juvie. You don't get to get a clean slate when you hit 18 in 2 years' time. Fuck that shit. Gotta use conservative mind jujitsu. You have to pay tax on cars. Teens are getting mouthier, more violent, etc. Starting in the middle school, I see it every single day. Kids using the F word at their parents. Yeah, that shit's gotta stop. That shit's really gotta stop.
We agree with many of our elected leaders who believe that juveniles should generally be treated as juveniles. But armed robberies and armed carjackings
You're very welcome.
are
Before I
serious
go.
offenses that we have unfortunately seen recently sometimes escalate to homicides.
I think if we are more strict with the punishments, maybe we will see less crime. I think we should also hold parents accountable to some degree.
Yeah, for failure of parenting, absolutely.
Look good. Guys, the pilot curfew now starting impacts those 16 and under, beginning 12:01 Saturday morning and Sunday, and it'll go to 6 a.m. in the morning. From Sunday to Thursday, it goes from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. There will also be targeted enforcement at 7 locations you should be seeing on your...
Yeah, this isn't gonna wind up as another George Floyd or something like that, is it? This seems very problematic to me. Because all it's going to take is one mouthy group of teenagers resisting arrest if they are breaking the curfew or something like that. And you can see it happening. Like, I can picture that specifically in my head. Because, oh yeah, I'm a big baller. I need to show my street cred, all this sort of shit. I'm not staying home after 11 p.m. Are you freaking kidding me? And it's just like, yeah, no. It's not going to end well.
Screen those areas there. We're told police will be taking the teen or the kid picked up to a youth services center instead of a police station, and that way families can get DYRS help and police.
Okay, I know I shouldn't be laughing at that. As if anyone's going to utilize those services. Yeah, sure. We're going to take the kids to a service center, and it's in no way going to be that, you know, the parents have a talking to or any shit like that. Problem is that many parents aren't parents. They think they are friends and want to be friends with their kids. Be a parent, not a fucking friend. They can be your friend when they move out. This is very true. We have a theme park near us requires chaperones after a large fight involving teens broke out. Oh.
Can go back to their beats, guys.
Hey, Walker Magic. Most of these teens are either raised by a grandparent or a single parent. It's a problem. It's a problem. And for the rest of us that have first world problems, yes, you absolutely need a human dog bed. Picture this. You're in a warm, cozy log cabin. A fire is roaring in the fireplace, and the warm glow of the hearth, your beloved dog curls up in for a comfortable nap. Now picture this. The exact same setting, but you're the dog. Because this is in no way trying to encourage more furry culture. You get to curl up in front of the fireplace because you have a human-sized dog bed that was featured on Shark Tank. This isn't just a pipe dream, folks. It can be a reality because these products actually exist and you can order it right now. Not affiliated, not sponsored, although if they want to reach out, I'm more than happy to. Introducing the Pluffle. The Pluffle was invented by Yuki Kinoshita and Noah Silverman, who built the business while studying at the University of British Columbia. Canadians? They came up with the idea in 2021 when in typical college student fashion, they wanted to take a nap in the middle of the day. There was just one problem. They couldn't find any comfortable spots to snooze on campus. Then in a coffee shop, they saw a dog comfortably napping the afternoon away on a dog bed, and the idea for the Pluffle was born. Furries don't need help. They spread like an STI. Sleep in the dog bed and eat your cricket pellets in your 6x8 pod. Oh. The original Pluffle is available online in 4 colours with a machine washable cover. If you aren't quite sold on the idea of a human-sized dog bed, you can try it risk-free for 30 days. And to sweeten the deal, it's currently on sale for $349. Fuck that. Oh, and there are alternatives for a more human-sized dog bed thing. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Claude the Koala has gone on a $6,000 rampage at a New South Wales nursery. When thousands of dollars worth of tree seedlings went missing in a New South Wales nursery, everyone was confused. Eastern Forest nursery owner Humphrey Harrington first thought possums were the culprit, the Sunday Telegraph reported. The mystery continued for 2 months as new leaves intended for koala habitat restoration projects would disappear overnight. But one morning, Mr. Harrington caught the real thief in the act. It was a male koala in the midst of a food coma, too full to get away. There he is. That's funny. Named Claude due to his large claws, the koala's undoing was being too full to climb back into his tree. This is when we realised it was a koala, not a possum. Well, I mean, if there were trees designed for koala rehabilitation and reforestation,
of course it's gonna actually entice legitimate animals into the area. Look at those claw marks though, Jesus. I put a towel around him, watch out for the chlamydia, and moved him a few hundred meters down the road to a big tree at my neighbor's place. He was pretty stroppy when I picked him up. You removed him from an all-you-can-eat smorgasbord. I'd be fucking pissed off too. It was only 2 days before Claude was back for more, getting his paws back into the seedlings. Why did you think a few hundred meters would do it? Why? All up, he'd swallowed thousands of them, raking in a bill of around $6,000. Well, who are you going to send the bill to? Mother Nature? In an effort to stop the hungry furball, Mr. Harrington is working on building a fence on the Northern Rivers Nursery, which has been growing koala food trees for more than 2 decades. But in all the years the nursery's been growing seedlings, he said it was the first time he'd seen a koala get inside. To me, it's not normal koala activity. Yes, it's because they're going fucking extinct and they're looking for food sources. Are you kidding me? For anyone that doesn't know, thanks to the bushfires, we may be looking at their extinction inside the next 5-10 years. They were already endangered. They already had a reduced population. In the wild, they may be gone in the foreseeable future. Let him eat the fucking plants. Set Jeff has a live feed of the Big Spear in Las Vegas if you want to see what it does. I know it's an event center inside. Oh, okay, cool. However, we don't get too many choices of where we can get new food. There must be a shortage of food around here. All seedlings are grown on site and go to restoration initiatives led by community group Bangalore Koalas and the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Last year, the WWF funded Bungalow Koalas to plant more than 10,000 trees near the Eastern Forest Nursery in an effort to fight habitat loss. Koalas just ahead of the game, that's all, pretty much. No koala monopolies on leaves. Had no idea the numbers were down so much. Yeah. They're almost gone in the wild anyway. So the syphilis bear gets lost in all the sauce. Got it. Pretty much. Pretty much. Okay. And we're going to head back to Utah with this crazy ass looking woman. Host of YouTube parenting channel is charged with child abuse. Ruby Frank, a Utah mother known for chronicling her strict parenting style, was arrested after one of her children ran to a neighbor's house seeking help. Can you hunt the koalas? Abso-fucking-lutely not. What, are you kidding me? A, in the middle of the night, those things are terrifying. They scream like there's no tomorrow. B, they are entirely endangered at this point. So, anyway. All right. Host of a YouTube parenting channel is charged with child abuse. Ruby Frank, a Utah mother, is known for... Hello? 1 second, peeps. Is this a mic on or off conversation? What can I do for you, my dear?
Would you like a coffee or some toast?
I would love a coffee, my darling. Hello, Buglugs.
You sit, Munchkin. You go and say Happy Daddy's Day to Daddy. Go and say it in the microphone.
Oh, Mummy wants you to grift it and say it on the microphone.
No, say it properly like a big girl.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Munchkins. I love you. No.
The Labrador wants to say Happy Father's Day too. Oh, and she stole a sock.
Of course. Hey, get back here with my sock. My footsie's cold. You been good for Mummy?
Dada?
Okay.
Come up, you can help Mummy make Daddy a coffee.
Shut the door. Sorry about that, guys. You know, Father's Day. Can't really say anything about it. Happy Bergen Dad Day. Yeah. I thought she'd walked away. Never mind. Okay, where are we? God damn it. Okay. Host of the YouTube parenting channel is charged with child abuse. Ruby Frank, a Utah mother known for chronicling her strict parenting style, was arrested after one of her children ran to neighbors to seek help. I'd probably run and seek help too. A Utah mother who chronicled her strict parenting style on YouTube and other social media channels was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse this week after one of her children climbed out of a window and ran to a nearby house seeking help, officials said. Ruby Frank, 41, was arrested on Wednesday in Inverness, a city in southern Utah, at the home of Jody Hildebrandt, her business partner, who was also arrested. Ms. Frank hosted the now-defunct YouTube channel 8 Passengers, where she posted videos about her parenting approach with her 6 children, including refusing them food as a form of punishment. Happy Father's Day. Ms. Frank and Ms. Hildebrandt were each charged on Friday with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse, according to the Washington County Attorney's Office. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000. According to the affidavit, Ms. Frank's 12-year-old son, identified as RF in the document, climbed out a window at Ms. Hildebrandt's home and went to a neighbor's house on Wednesday morning asking for food and water. The child had duct tape on his ankles and wrists, as well as open wounds. He appeared to be emaciated and malnourished. The neighbor called the police, who then found Ms. Frank's 10-year-old daughter Eve at Ms. Hildebrandt's. She also appeared to be malnourished, the affidavit said. Both children were taken to a hospital and the boy was placed on a medical hold due to his deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and from his malnourishment. All the mothers with parenting videos on YouTube end up being sickos. Well, see, the hilarious thing is that I was thinking about starting to do dad videos, and now this is making me think, fuck that! YouTube errors reported in the last 36 hours have been higher than normal. If you experience an error, please refresh the live stream. When do they not have an issue? You've had 5 ad breaks? Are you serious? I'm okay with sending a child to bed without supper. There was nothing wrong with that, but you can't be extreme about it. You also might not want to tape them up. This is true, MLS. No, look, I mean, sometimes tough love is a necessity. I mean, otherwise you wind up with a spoiled little brat. Speaking from experience. Love you. But no, this is, this is not okay. Woman wanted to have her kids have pain constantly, or basically, yeah. Ms. Frank was seen on a YouTube video filmed in Miss Hildebrandt's home that was posted 2 days ago, the affidavit said, adding that Ms. Frank and Ms. Hildebrandt, 54, had knowledge of the abuse and malnourishment and neglect. The 2 children were believed to be in direct care of Miss Hildebrandt, the affidavit said. A search of her home found evidence consistent with the markings found on the 12-year-old. You know what that means? They found ropes and chains. That's what they found in that house. That's what it means, consistent with the markings. If he had deep wounds and tape and rope burn, that's what they found. Thought this might be overreacting from Child Protective Services. Not in this instance, it doesn't look like. Sorry. The police contacted the Utah Division of Child and Family Services, and a total of 4 children were taken into its care. So where are the other 2? If there's 6 kids, plus her and the... Ooh, hello. Judge on Thursday denied bail for both Miss Frank and Miss Hildebrandt because of the severity of the injuries for the 2 children located in the home. That's fucked. The severity of the injuries. Yeah, that was my question too, Jason. Okay. At one point, Miss Frank had nearly 2.5 million subscribers to her channel following the lives of her 6 children. In 2020, Chad Frank, then 15. Oh, okay. So he's... yeah, so Chad's probably the one that wasn't taken. I mean, the age 16 is probably staying with his father. Told YouTube viewers in one family video that he'd been sleeping on a beanbag for months and that he'd lost his bedroom after playing a prank on his little brother. In one video recorded by Miss Frank and reposted to TikTok, they would just play things to her. She said her daughter Eve's teacher had called her to say that Eve had come to school without lunch. Ms. Frank said the teacher was uncomfortable with her being hungry, but that Eve was responsible for making her own lunch and that the natural outcome is she's going to be hungry. Hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch, because then she's not going to learn from it. A YouTube spokesperson, Nicole Bell, said in an email on Friday that 2 channels linked to Ms. Frank had been terminated. Ms. Frank now appears on social media channels on behalf of Ms. Hildebrandt's counselling business, Connections Classroom, which claims on its website to empower people by educating them in the principles of truth, learning to be honest, responsible, and humble. I'm not usually one for a call to action. But if that channel's still up and there's any hint of child abuse on there, I would expect YouTube to remove it. The child's supposed to make their own lunch, were they supposed to buy their own food as well? Look, I'll be honest with you, I don't have an issue with the kid making their own lunch, but it's the responsibility of the parent to make sure that lunch gets made. Had to call Child Protective Services on many parents for a variety of issues, abuse and neglect. It's sad that I care more about their kids than they do. It's not a money issue. Channel cannot provide any legal medical advice or statements or comments for educational purposes. Don't torture your children. Had a parent swear at me because I brought their kid new sneakers because he was one size too small and wore the same clothes 11 days in a row. Always hungry, I fed and clothed him. Oh, Jesus, Grant. Oh, you're a special education teacher. Oh, that makes it so much worse. You are a saint. Had the case in my country with a family from Japan. They had 6 or so children. They starved and abused them, locked them in cages, if I recall correctly. Holy shit. Okay. The 2 appeared frequently together in the Instagram account called Mums of Truth. Smunts of Truth. It was not immediately clear who was representing Miss Frank or Miss Hildebrandt. A lawyer for Miss Frank's husband, Kevin Frank, did not immediately return a request for comment. Are they together? Did the father have knowledge of all this? In which case, where the hell? Sherry Frank, now a junior at Brigham Young University. Okay, there we go. Posted on her mother's Instagram about her mother's arrest, saying justice is being served. We've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this. So glad they finally decided to step up, she wrote, referring to the Division of Child and Family Services. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. She did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Ellie Metcham, Julie Griffiths-Daru, and Bonnie Hoeline, who claimed on Instagram to be her sisters, said in a statement on Thursday that they'd done everything they could to try and make sure the kids were safe over the past 3 years. Excuse me. The sisters also document their own family lives on social media. Yellow. Oh, I love you.
Comes with an after-dinner mint.
Oh, an after-dinner mint. Hello. Where'd you get the lint ball? Oh, was that out of the cupboard still?
It's from your pack.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you. Nectar of the gods. Thank you. Bring on the caffeine. Okay. See, here's the thing. Look, yes, I'm inclined to agree with Yambic. Social media is a plague. But it's a plague that I'm willing to get on board with when I'm going through and bringing things like this to people's attention. The issues that I have is when people go out of their way to document their own family life. If all you're doing is plastering your family and kids on social media for likes, for notoriety, for whatever else, and you're not actually contributing anything, that's just narcissism. Which, don't get me wrong, everybody on social media, everyone on YouTube, and every lawyer has an ego problem. I'm the first to admit that. Yeah, no kids on the internet. That's why I turn the camera off. That's why little lady Overlaw'd has the mask if she ever wants to come on camera. I don't... They're too young. If they are too young to make their own decisions, keep the family and business separate. Yep. So, Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The statement said, the kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority. Where the fuck was the father? Can't imagine hog tying my kid or starving them. It is honestly one of the most reprehensible things that can happen for you to go out of your way. How do I put this? There is a special level of hell reserved specifically for those that abuse the trust and love relationship between a parent and their child. It is literally, particularly when they're of a young age, you're their entire world. And if you abuse that, A, for social media clout, B, because you're a sick, twisted fuck in the head and want to see them in pain, you deserve everything that comes at you for that. Convicting a murderer will be on Daily Wire. It was filmed right next door to me in 2018. A film crew was a dick to me working on my house. They demanded I stop. She's got some male pattern baldness going on. Oh, maybe she's got an extra chromosome. We don't know. But anyway. Yeah, so I'm in two minds about what I want to finish off with. Alright, I'm going to throw it open to chat. Oh, wait, no, we haven't talked about the octogenarians you guys have got running in politics in America. Hang on. Why are American politicians so old, and does age matter in politics? Yes, it does. Fucking Mitch McConnell, I swear to God. That video, the multiple videos I've seen of the poor guy appearing to have a stroke while talking, Sometimes the moments that go the most viral are those that are the most difficult to watch. Footage of US Senator Mitch McConnell, 81, seizing up at a press conference for the second time in a month makes for painful viewing. It happened not long after fellow veteran Senator Dianne Feinstein made headlines for a string of seemingly senile episodes, which started when she returned from extended sick leave and insisted she hadn't been away. Asked to vote on the Defense Appropriations Bill, Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat, begins to give a speech. I would like to support a yes vote on this. It provides... Hang on. Just say aye. In the US, the senior moments from senior lawmakers keep on coming. Well, look at the commander-in-chief. The senile-in-chief. The guy that can't ride a bicycle without falling over. They're feeding a national conversation that doesn't bode well for the oldest president in history, who many voters have already written off as too elderly to re-elect. I think that the Mitch McConnell situation hurts Joe Biden more than it hurts the Republican Party, said Republican pollster and Bellwether Research President Christine Matthews. Mitch McConnell is about the same age as Joe Biden. No shit. So when you see somebody like Mitch McConnell freezing up, having these problems, I think it puts pressure on Biden to address the age issue. Mr. Biden hopes to be voted back in next year, aged 81, for a term that will keep him in the White House until he's 86. But polling on the question of age consistently returns poor results for the current commander-in-chief, while his likely challenger, a 77-year-old Donald Trump, avoids being judged as harshly. Interesting. Don't care if they have an R or a D next to their name. They need cognitive tests after 65. Fetterman shouldn't be in office either. It's a good point. It's a fair point. An AP NORC poll this week revealed 77% of respondents believe that Biden is too old to effectively serve another term. For Trump, that figure is 51%. One finding is particularly concerning for the president. The words most people associate with him are old, outdated, aging, and elderly. He has old man vibes. Need a 25th Amendment for all the old fogies in politics. And see, I said this the other day. Provided the cognitive ability is there and provided they're not completely out of step with the rest of the country, I myself have issues relating to certain younger generations than me. I'm literally getting to the point where I can say back in my day, and I'm only fucking 33, okay? Imagine being 81 and trying to discern today's technology, today's language, without having kept up with it. I mean, I think it was Nick saying the other day, these guys don't do their own grocery shopping. They don't step outside and engage with the world on their own. They have people that do it for them because they're career politicians. That of itself needs to stop. Because when you become so disassociated with the world, you are not fit to run it. But if you also cannot actually discern what is legitimately going on in the rest of the world, it's a problem. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we should be bowing down to, what people between 18 and 25 say, because let's face it, they're still young enough that they got their heads up their asses. But when you're old enough that you're ignoring the rest of the world, you're ignoring advances in technology, you're ignoring advances in culture, you also have your head up your ass. I'm 50 in 11 days. My parents have been 56 years together today. It's rare for marriages that last over 10 years. Back in my day, whenever anyone typed FML, I replied, how hard? I fucking hate that. FML. I hate it when people say fuck my life. I really do. I know that most people say it in jest and whatever. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Okay. Last year, Donald Trump declared that life begins at 80, but in the same social media post, he mocked Joe Biden for being one of the oldest 79s in history. Well, there is a bit of a difference. Like, you can have a very young at heart 80-year-old. I don't think Biden fits that bill, though. Cognitive decline is obvious as well as severe. People that deny are either disingenuous or oblivious. I'm 1399 years old and think age limits should be enacted. 80's too old to be effectively running a country, technically. Did you see the video of Biden saying, God save the Queen long after she died? Well, in this day and age, Charles may be transitioning. We don't know. Oh, shit, that did not go in my mouth. I'll save the chocolate. I will save the chocolate. Since then, he's continued to attack Biden for portraying him as doddering and weak, recently suggesting he couldn't even lift a beach chair. Wasn't there video of him failing and struggling to... What's that? I prefer fuck me writing. Gives people a challenge. That's why I say fuck me sideways. Oh, hang on. What was that? What did I miss? I saw Debbie contributing something. Hang on. Thank you to the 90 of you watching, by the way. Debbie dropping 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Damn, and we have 93 likes. We have more likes than we have viewers. Holy crap. I do love that. Thank you. All right. The president's political opponents often point to his speaking stumbles as evidence that he's deteriorating into dementia, but Elaine Carmack, a political scientist at the Brookings Research Institute, said he was being punished for having a lifelong stutter. Sometimes his speech gets a little lilted because he is working on the stuttering problem. She said it was a Democrat who's worked on multiple presidential campaigns. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that she's Democrat affiliated and she's trying to cover up for him. I don't know about the stutter thing. I mean, I look at him during Clarence Thomas's confirmation and how he acts now, and I'm sorry, there is a distinct difference. I don't think you can blame it on the stutter. If I wouldn't want you flying my plane or driving my kids, I don't want you running my country. That's a damn good way to look at it. May have missed this, but since Kiki Corner is back up and running, we have a schedule for that. Yeah, I'm going to try and make that every Monday, but that's Monday nights, Australia. So I'll start, now that I know that it's working, I'll start putting out the actual notifications. I did a test run of Kinky Corner over on Locals, because Locals finally gave me RTMP access, so I can actually bring up news articles, I can actually bring up web pages, that sort of thing. I didn't turn on the notifications for that, so I was not expecting anybody to be sitting there watching it. Bella Stella, thank you very much for joining in. Someone actually noticed that I was going live and was there. Legitimately, that was purely just supposed to be me talking to a camera. But it is there if you want to go and watch it. I'm still trying to build up. I need to get to 50 active supporters before I can stretch it out to an hour. So if Kinky Corner or if War on Offense is what you're interested in, because I can say things over there that I just can't say on Locals or on Rumble. On YouTube or on Rumble. So, but anyway, that was a hell of a digression. He didn't used to have a stutter? Okay. What stutter, though? Biden dithers. Yeah, in his first address where he said he was a senator in the 1920s. Oh, God. She believes he needs to increase the amount of time he spends out and about, both performing presidential duties and simply being out in public, or the attacks will continue to be effective. So you want to weekend at Bernie's that shit? Had such a bad stutter his entire life that he never realised until he got dementia and they told him it was just his stutter. Heard of a political decoy, many presidents have used them. Well, they, the Republicans, are going to be talking about age a lot, said Christine Matthews. They know that that is Joe Biden's number one vulnerability. Okay. During a radio interview after his 80th birthday, Mr. Biden, now I sound like I slipped into crap. Now I've lost the Mike Tyson. So I slipped into Mike Tyson. Oh, I got to stop trying with the accents. Either I've got to learn to practice them, or I got to stop it. During a radio interview after his 80th birthday, Mr. Biden said, "I can't even say that number 80. I no more feel that old than I'd get out of from being a..." What? I no more feel that than I'd get out from behind this desk and fly. He now frequently jokes about his age. At a Black History Month event in February, he told the crowd, "I look back on my career of 280 years. Oh, so now they're just saying that he's joking about it. Hey, Dog Mama becoming a member. Thank you very much. That was a terrible Tyson. All it is a lisp. Yes, I'm acutely aware. So basically, from now on, anytime he makes a misstep or says something stupid, they're just going to say he's joking. Sounds about right. In June, he told an Air Force Academy class, "When I was graduating from high school 300 years ago, I applied to the Naval Academy." Okay, so he's just trying to, like, be a dick about it, try and cover up. Yeah, okay, fine. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are the only two US presidents sworn in aged 70 plus. Okay. America's most privileged nursing home. Donald Trump is careful to distinguish age from acuity when attacking Joe Biden, aware some of his Republican rivals are also turning the issue of age onto him. Nikki Haley, who recently described the US Senate as America's most privileged nursing home, is pitching for the Republicans' presidential nomination on a platform of generational change, and she wants mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75. Annoyingly, I don't disagree with her. Problem with that proposal, medical experts say, is that there's no good test for mental competency. This is true. So even here, in terms of dealing with when someone is no longer mentally competent, it's not a medical decision. So, for example, and this is not medical advice. For example, when we are dealing with powers of attorney, when someone is unable to make decisions about their own lifestyle choices, about their financial capabilities, it's a legal test. It's not a doctor that determines it. It's a legal test. I'm the one that has to determine, oh yes, I believe this person is individually mentally incapable. That's why I get a doctor to sign off on it. Because I don't want that responsibility. So... Problem with the proposal says no good test. They don't exist, said Art Kramer, the director of Center for Cognitive and Brain Health at Boston's Northeastern University. The American military for many years has used a test to predict how somebody would fare in different professions. And, that does okay, but to predict something as complex as being a US senator or a president of a major country, I know of no such tests. It's not on the normal side of the disc. Who has Joe's power of attorney, Obama? Probably. About term limits. What's this? ABC's George Stephanopoulos plays dumb on Joe Biden's advanced age and shouts at Nikki Haley for noticing. Excuse me one second. How do you know Joe Biden is not going to finish his term? What is this based on?
And it's time that we had term limits in D.C. It's time that we quit talking about the past, and it's time that we start talking about what the new solutions are for us going forward.
I didn't quite understand part of your answer there. The Republican nominee likely be running against not Kamala Harris, but Joe Biden. Why would it be better to vote for a convicted felon than President Joe Biden?
Wait, what? I know I should have expected it, but... Okay.
Well, you're assuming that he's convicted, and you're assuming he's going to be the nominee,
No,
George.
you
And
were
I
asked a
disagree with
question
both
that was
of those.
based on that assumption, and you said you would vote for him.
Well, first of all, a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Kamala Harris. You know that, and I know that. There is no way that Joe Biden's going to finish his term. I think Kamala Harris is going to be the next president, and that should send a chill up every American spine. But I also think the fact that we have a primary.
Excuse me, 1 second,
Americans
Ambassador.
get
How
to
do you know
decide
that
who
Joe
the-
Biden's not going to finish his term? What is that based on?
Are you fucking kidding me? Do you actually think he's going to make it through to 86 with the current state of his... No, there would be a fucking revolt. I'm fully behind the people that are saying that it's a bluff, that even if he gets in, he's going to step down within 1, maybe 2 years, and Kamala, or whoever he runs with, presumably Kamala, is going to take the reins. And, you know, then they bring in maybe Newsom as the VP or whatever else. YouTube just did an ad. Okay. All right. Well, the one way you can get around that, I think that might be my fault. I'll see what I can sort out. Sorry, guys. I did some stuffing around with the back end of things, trying to sort things out last night, and I think I may have let YouTube choose where to put mid-roll credits, which might be a problem. But let me see if I can... I'll play this, and I'll try and fix that so it doesn't happen again.
You ask Americans, do you think he's going to finish his term? Do you think that he's actually going to finish what he started? We look at the decline he's had over the last few years. You have to be honest with the American people, George. There's no way that Joe Biden's going to finish out a next term. We can't have an 81-year-old president. We have to have a new generational leader. The Senate has become the most privileged nursing home in the country. We have got to start making sure we have a new generation. Everybody feels that. Republicans, Democrats, and independents feel that. And it's time that the media acknowledge that. Y'all want to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump? We want to talk about the future of this country. That's what we have to start doing.
Again, you didn't answer the question. What evidence do you have that he's not going to finish the term? What Americans feel has no basis on whether he's going to finish his term or not.
I mean, if you look at the decline, I mean, every person should be able to tell what country they were in the week before. He couldn't do that. Every person should be able to tell how many grandkids they have. It's the reason I've asked for a mental competency test for anyone over the age of 75. I don't care if we do it for over the age of 50. But we need to understand that the people in D.C., they're making decisions on our national security. They're making decisions on the future of our children's economic policy. We need to make sure we've got someone at the top of their game. Joe Biden is not at the top of his game. You know it, I know it, the American people know.
Others have been calling for age caps on political positions. There are minimum ages for running for the President of the United States, the House of Representatives, 25, Senate, 30, and President, 35. This week's AP NORC poll found that about 2/3 of people think maximum ages should also be introduced. If you've got 66% of the population saying that there needs to be an age limit for the maximum age... Wait, Jimmy Buffett died? Really? Huh. Learn about the connections between the DC judge was a lawyer for the firm that defended Fusion GPS, which pushed the Trump dossier. No shit. Almost at 31,000 subs. Yes, but I have just noticed that I'm going backwards. I've lost about 10 in the last few hours. So, guys, maybe just double check if you are still subscribed. I don't generally ask. I know I'm supposed to. But, you know, if you're enjoying the content, if you like hearing me talk about bullshit, then make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated. I am trying to put out videos every now and then, basically daily. And I'm going to get back into the live schedule. I don't know that it's going to be every day, but I'm just trying to sort some things out because I'm still trying to work out what content you guys enjoy, what content I'm enjoying to provide to you. Can't stand Haley, but she's not wrong. We should have competency tests for old fuckers. Cheers. All right. Why does Dr. Kramer believe it would be a mistake? As we get older, memory tends to decline to some degree. How quickly we can respond tends to decline, but there are huge individual differences. I don't care. I would apply the same test as it's better to let guilty men go free than it is for one innocent person to be jailed. It is better for a bunch of people that are competent to be excluded than let one incompetent dickhead run the country. OnlyFans content? No, that's on locals. We enjoy naked, but you're acceptable. No, it's still sub, but get no notifications. Okay. That's the other thing that I kind of want to do, is a little bit of, like, getting in shape content. I mean, the more time that I've spent with Camelot and that sort of thing, it makes me think, damn, it'd be nice to be able to make my pecs jump like that. Glad to put up with the ads if you're getting paid from them. Last I heard, YouTube was being extremely fickle about that. Yeah, this is true. I would not put the ads on if I didn't think that I was getting revenue from them, okay? If at any point I feel that I'm not the one receiving the funds from it, I will turn the ads off myself. One incompetent, so you know, Trudeau. S&M content. The 2024 election campaign won't be the first to put Joe Biden's age under the spotlight. In a 2020 Democratic presidential debate, California Congressman Eric Swalwell, pushed Joe Biden to pass the torch to someone younger. I'm not going to watch that. Been working at 5 days a week and feel great. Lovely. A lot of about Weiss and Biden too. Biden's got him in his position, doesn't charge Beau Biden with charges. Also, they worked together and Hunter gets a sweet deal. Yeah, that's some bullshit. That should have been completely independent. Camelot's exercise ethic is good, but it'll slowly make you gay, so be careful. Ads in the middle of streams? Yeah. Well, you know. Swalwell went bang bang with Feng Feng. Chinese spy. Oh, Jesus, Mandy. I'm sorry about that. Alright. The 42-year-old now says he's been proven wrong by a president whose priorities have included gun control, climate change, and student loan reform. 3 things that, in my opinion, just show that he has mental degradation. But anyway. Or has he also got pegged? Gotta ask, did she Swalwell? Mr. Swalwell, who in no way implying has bruises on his knees, still wants to see more younger politicians and funded the Future Forum group for young Democrats with that goal, but sees big societal barriers to generational change in Congress. Childcare is one of the biggest obstacles to getting young people into politics, which is that it is so expensive. It's not just a barrier to getting people into politics. Nice to see that you're actually recognizing that childcare is an issue, but it's an issue with keeping people in work. It's an issue with keeping single parents in work. It would be great if childcare could be properly funded. Cut the soft drink completely, lost 20 kilos in the past 8 months by eating less, doing 30 minutes exercise 5 days a week, and completely cutting soft drink. I'm switching out most soft drink for like sugar-free stuff. I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but I'm trying. Childcare is one of the biggest obstacles. Doing this job is so disruptive on the family, but those are the people we think really need... those are the people I think we really need right now, because the issues of the young family, those are too many that are unaddressed. It's a problem not exclusive to the US Congress, and many Australian politicians have left politics after finding it incompatible with family life. But while the average age in Australia's parliament hovers around 50, in Congress it's 59.2, in the US Senate it's 65. No current Australian federal MP is as old as Mr. Biden. The closest is Queensland MP Bob Katter, who at 78 is just a touch older than Donald Trump, and is hilarious. Look up the story of Lindsey Graham and his ladybugs. That's just my ladybugs. I'll be right. I feel like sparkling flavoured water is always good. Yeah. Are Trump and Biden super ages? What the hell is a super ager? How severely age ravages... fucking hell, Hayden, come on. How severely age ravages an individual varies greatly from person to person. Some are spared many cognitive declines well into their 80s and beyond. Doctors refer to those people as super agers. There's no way in hell Biden falls into that category. A 2020 study published in the Journal on Active Aging found both Joe Biden and Donald Trump were likely to fit that category, which are defined as a subgroup of people that maintain their mental and physical functioning into late life and tend to live longer than the average person their age. Oh, we're almost there. Elaine Carmack believes that assessment is correct. They go hard, they're smart. They're making decisions, they work full-time jobs that could easily kill somebody else. You see how the inflection that you put on that sentence actually changes things? They're working full-time jobs that would easily kill somebody else. Or, they're working full-time jobs that would kill somebody else. Yeah, I agree. Biden is in a position where he's working a job where somebody else could get killed. Have trouble believing people named Elaine. As for Mitch McConnell, he has been medically cleared to return. Mitch McConnell's been medically cleared to return to the Senate. Too many in Congress have been there so long they don't remember what it's like to be a regular person. I think I wholeheartedly agree with that. Do they even have healthy foods in Australia? Most of our foods are healthy. Most foods are healthy. You steer clear of you try and steer clear of takeaway, and most food is quite healthy. It has to be, because otherwise it gets eaten by animals and shit. Like the 12 servicemen in Afghanistan. Biden has spent 40% of his term as president on vacation. No shit, is that accurate? Biden's already killed people. Remember the Afghan pullout? Yeah. Turtle Boy is back on the job. In a medical note released publicly, Congress physician Brian Monahan... Oh, okay, so hang on. He was medically cleared by the Congress physician, who would in no way have any sort of financial incentive to make sure that individuals remain in Congress. Yeah, no. Over 380 days off for Biden. No shit. He suggested Mr. McConnell's occasional lightheadedness could be related to a concussion he sustained in March or dehydration. What? You're saying he's having the equivalent of a stroke, 6 months later as a result of a concussion? Then why is he still sitting? Why is he still... Not helping your case is all I'm saying. Mr. Biden, who calls Mr. McConnell a friend, says the pair spoke on the phone after the freeze-up and he wasn't concerned about his ability to do his job. Well, when all you have to do is sit there and sign things that other people are presenting to you, you probably don't have to worry about that too much. I'm confident he's going to be back to his old self. Trouble is, Biden, I don't trust your judgment, so why would I trust his? Sounds like McConnell needs an MRI. Turtles can have a long life. Just made deer antler decorative hand-planted walnut pistol mounts. Damn. Someone's been busy. Wish I could be paid $400,000 a year. Job for a 4-year term that allows me to take more than half the year off. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if I put the video out, but Australian politicians just got a 4% pay increase. Pretty fucking ropeable about that too. A friend, if that doesn't scare you, it should. No MRIs, it will show the symbiote in their brains. Alright. Hang on. I'm going to let you guys pick. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to throw up a poll. Sorry, I turned off the audio for that because I didn't need you here. Yes, you're picking your adventure. So for the final story, we have a softball dad thrown out of his daughter's high school game over text messages to the coach, or which is apparently going to be a First Amendment lawsuit challenge, or we have ghost guns in Montgomery County. Have at it, people. I'm curious to see where your interests lie. Still have to finish Friday Night Tights yet. Live in Kentucky, we can't wait to vote him out. Oh, fingers crossed. If the Prez is concerned with McConnell doing his job, then McConnell may be concerned about the Prez doing his job, but he needs McConnell on his side. Well, there is that. Congressman starts at around 174,000, then you add on the committees you're on, so how do they become millionaires after serving 3 years? Preferential treatment, preferential contracts. It's the same issue that we have here. Like, as I was saying before, like 4% doesn't sound like a lot when you add it to politicians. But it means that, for example, the Prime Minister here is jumping from $412,000 a year to $480,000, including the increases to travel allowances, living away from home allowances. It's honestly, it's a ridiculous amount of money. Is it Maryland? Not 100% sure. It says Montgomery County, Montgomery County, Montgomery County. Oh, actually, you know what? Fuck it. It's a really short story. We'll just do both. Sorry, guys. Although, thank you to thank you to 64 that voted for ghost guns. I didn't realize it was quite that short. I thought there was more to the page. All right. Montgomery County men arrested for manufacturing and trafficking ghost guns. Tony Fan Ho Rithka Nyoy and Michael Fan Nguyen conspired to illegally assemble and sell firearms in the Philly suburbs, says District Attorney Kevin Steele. 3 Montgomery County men were arrested for their involvement in trafficking ghost guns, according to the Office of the District Attorney Kevin Steele. The gentlemen each face charges related to the assembling of the ghost guns, that's the investigation page, silencers and selling firearms illegally. An investigation into the illegal gun operation began this May, when silencer components shipped from China were seized by US Customs and Border Protection agents at JFK in New York. The Montgomery County District Attorney's Office said the shipment was addressed to Ho's home in Hatfield. Ho needed a silencer. That Ho making too much noise needed a silencer. I'm sorry. Hatfield, despite being illegal for him to carry a gun. After Homeland Security, the Montgomery County Detective Bureau and Hatfield Police secured a warrant to search his property. They found tools used to assemble guns, AR rifle parts, firearm sights, mounted lights for weapons, a Glock pistol barrel, a Sig Sauer 320p grip frame. Isn't that the one that no, I think I'm thinking of a different one. The Sig Sauer, I thought, what's the one that I'm thinking of where the police, it was misfiring or something. I thought that was a 320p. I might be wrong. Don't recall the Second Amendment saying that people couldn't make their own firearms. Ghost gun laws and rules are unconstitutional, but it is a law I will have to enforce. Ghost guns supposed to make a spooky sound. In case nobody knew, it's Father's Day in Australia. Let's wish Aussie a happy Father's Day. It's all good, Drone. I'm going to celebrate Father's Day by going to Costco. I want one of the hot dogs and one of the... No. Do I want the pizza? Actually, a piece of pepperoni go down well, but I kind of want to get one of the hot dogs before the price goes up. It's not guns that kill people, it's ghosts. Well, I mean, I look at it this way. Guns are like every other tool. If they're used inappropriately, I mean, a hammer can be just as deadly. So, you say that now. However, when you become a cop, the blue wall will force you to comply with tyranny. Go for both. I'm trying to lose weight, not become more of a fat ass. But thank you, Pawson. On his phone, Ho, 32, had photos and videos of fully assembled guns and communications about guns with Noy, 36, Noyce, who is also from Hatfield, Nguyen, 32, from Lansdale, and others. The messages helped law enforcement trace Ho to the illegal sales of at least 15 ghost guns since March 2020. Over the last 3 years, records show Ho made purchases on eBay for ammunition, silencer parts, and pistol slides, barrels, and triggers. So clearly the NSA was not doing their job. And I'm not saying that it's a job that it's supposed to be doing, I'm saying it's a job that they're paid to do. Stop, hammer time. A nail gun, this is true. Get the pizza and the hot dog, it's your day. US Supreme Court will have to make the final decision unless Congress overrides them. Fingers crossed. Even when losing weight, you need a cheat day. Should I be offended by ghost guns? No, I think you're okay. Order a smaller pizza and a hot dog. Yeah. Okay, where are we? Before meeting with law enforcement, Ho arranged for Noi to remove the firearms from Ho's home so they would not be found. Noi later turned in... No, I can't. He turned in 15 guns, 14 of which were privately made, and firearm parts to authorities. The items found at his residence, the photos of numerous privately made firearms taken at his residence, and the quantity of firearm parts that he bought online clearly show he was manufacturing a significant number of privately made firearms and silencers on site. The true extent of his firearms manufacturing business, as well as the extent of the criminal activities those firearms were used in. Are you fucking kidding? Okay. No. Just no. Criminal activity they were linked to. I don't give a shit. That's a prosecutorial overreach, and you fucking know it. Quantity of firearms that online show the managed significant. True extent of his firearms business, as well as the extent of criminal activity those firearms were used in, may never be known, especially since privately made firearms have no serial numbers. These ghost guns are a greater danger to the safety of our communities. One based Ho. Ho and Ngoi were arrested on August 28, and Nguyen turned himself into police the same day. All three men had to surrender their passports as a bail condition. None posted bail. I'm shocked. So they remain in the Montgomery County Correctional Facility. All men have a hearing on September 13. So they're going to be behind bars for at least another 2 weeks. Interesting. Okay. Where's the arrest record? Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin R. Steele, Homeland Security Investigators, Special Agent in Charge William S. Walker. Why am I giving these people airtime? Announced the arrest of Tony Phan Ho, Rithka Ngoy, and Michael Phan Nguyen on gun trafficking charges related to manufacturing ghost guns and suppressors, silencers, as well as illegal sales of those items. Without trying to sound racist, I'm just thinking maybe that they're worried about the Chinese manufacturing going on inside America. Strongly disagree. A law is just a piece of paper until individuals choose to enforce it. This is very true. In your best Italian, you are too skinny. You got the mangia. Mangia? What? You got a mangia? What's the matter? You know I like it? What the hell happened at the end of that? I used to be able to do a brew in Italian because my grandfather was Sicilian. And we used to take the piss out of each other all the time. Nick's talked about this extensively. Very little has been done with ghost guns. Oh. The investigation into the gun trafficking organization. Oh, they're calling it a gun trafficking organization. Began in May 23 when a shipment of firearm suppressor components from China was intercepted by US Customs and Border Protection at JFK. Yeah, I'm not reading that entire thing. What, are you kidding me? Actually, you know what? I may save the baseball game because that does have a full judgment that I wanted to go through as well because the judge was pretty based. Long story short, though, for those that are interested and may never come back, basically the father, who was also a former baseball coach, the school has a policy about not communicating directly with the coaches. Excuse me. He was sending text messages back and forth because his daughter had no errors and wasn't being utilized properly and all that sort of stuff. And he felt that was costing her scouting opportunities, whatever. And basically, because of that, this school determined that he was not allowed to attend any of the games. He attended anyway, so he got thrown out, and now he's claiming First Amendment challenge to that. But I'll go through that at a later stage. So, because I think 2.5 hours, I've got to get on the road, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because I very much want to get across to Costco and get some... No, I want the hot dog. I want the hot dog. I want a hot dog today. And the pizza. I'll get some pizza too. And some soda. But I'm looking forward to getting some Reese's Pieces, and there are a few other like chocolates and candies that I may or may not only be able to get at Costco that I'm desperately missing. What an idiot. Don't text, just talk to the coaching person. Yeah, well, there is that. On the road again. On the road again. Yeah. So, all right, field trip. I'm not... As much as I would like to, you want a wiener in your mouth? No, I want to eat a wiener. There you go, clip that. So, as always, guys, you are not a piece of shit. You watching, you specifically are not a piece of shit. You can make changes to your life. You can improve things. It's all about self-motivation. But in the interim, you've got me for reassurance. So just remember that you are not a piece of shit. You do have value. You do contribute to society. So take that opportunity. Shoot for the stars. The worst that'll happen... No, what is it? Shoot for the moon. The worst that'll happen is you land amongst the stars. Don't let yourself get in your own head. You go and do you. But as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I will catch you on the flip side, guys. Peace out. And this is why I'm supposed to have the videos ready.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh, and for God's sakes, people, share, please. Twitter, YouTube, Rumble. I'm on all of them now. Just get the word out there. I love being able to share with you guys. It makes my day better. You know, it'd be awesome if the numbers continued to increase. And I'm not going to lie, at different times it does feel like YouTube's keeping Shorty down. So, but anyway, peace out, guys.